This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hello, everybody. If it's movie review, this is live around the world. Talk for Media, TV, radio, podcasting, live on K4HD Radio, podcasting, Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv, iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, iHeartRadio, all the platforms around the world. And I'm really excited about this because I haven't had a whole show with everybody who's been on with Hasmark. And that's really, really important, and I'll tell you why. Because we have an international best-selling author, we have a best-selling author, and we have another author who I believe is going to be one, if not both of those. And then we got Vocal Nathasha out of Miami. We got Terri, Nonstop Marie out of Redondo Beach, California. So we got to start off with Pauline. All right, Pauline, best-selling author of No Time to Clean. Guess what? Ask Pauline. So with that, environmentally consultant, business owner, and then Nancy Lynn. I enjoy talking to Nancy when we get a chance to talk, and it's always on different times. So Nancy Lynn, you get a chance to introduce yourself. Go for it.
Okay, I'm Nancy Lynn. I'm an author of the book, A Life of More. I'm a teacher, a coach,
a dream builder,
a happy for no reason certified coach. Yeah.
And what time is it in the morning?
I have a lot of fingers in many pies at the moment. So, yes.
And what time in the morning is it there?
Oh, it's just after 3. So try to look 3 a.m.
Well, we congratulate her. Okay. With that, next we go to Donna. So Donna's she's a new author there. She's very interesting. I like her already because one, she's from Boston and I'm from Connecticut. So us East Coast people, right, Donna? Tell us who you are and where you're coming from and why it's important and what your new book is going to be.
So my name's Donna Laitnen and I'm from Boston. And I'm actually already an author I've written a chapter in a book with the Wellness Universe, 25 Tools to Achieve Anything. And that was a best-selling and international bestseller. I just did that. That was Faith versus Fear, my chapter. And I've been asked to write this book. The title is Shades of Blue. And it's a guide for parents with children on the autism spectrum. And it's mechanisms to flip the switch, to go from that light to dark, unawareness to awareness, rather than, the whole idea of the book is to raise your vibration, to connect vibrationally with children with autism. And it's beautiful. It's awesome. And I'm literally have fallen in love with this journey and literally watching my purpose take root. And it's absolutely beautiful.
And with everything like that, I wanted to make sure that everybody from Hasmark, because I love this company out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, I wanted to talk to the women because of their books. I like all 3 of them. I kind of like Terri, I have to always tease my good friend there. Tash, she does a lot of great things for me. So that's a really good. And so Tosh, talk about your music because this is exciting for you. And then we're going to go back to the authors.
Yes. Okay. So my name is Nathasha Rumbos from Miami, and I'm a Latin singer-songwriter. Just started about a year and a half ago. And I'm honestly super pumped because this Friday I'm releasing a new single, and there's been so much work put into it, and a lot of creative people have joined me, and I can't even talk how excited I am, have joined me in just creating this whole vision and creating a tropical beat you'll be bumping to it on Friday, 8 p.m. Yeah, finally, it's been a long journey, and I'm grateful that I have this opportunity to share my art with the rest of the world, and yeah, so you can follow me, you can pre-save it, NatashaRumbosMusic.com. You cannot miss it. 8 p.m. on Friday.
I believe it.
All right. So Pauline, let's go into you, and then we're going to come back and Terri for a little bit. Pauline, let's talk about what's been going on with you. Why is it relevant? I mean, I've never had an author back to back. Anybody else back to back? You're the
Really?
first. Let's go by that.
Oh, well, I'm impressed and I'm honored. As you can see from my background, the book that I wrote over 30 years ago is called No Time to Clean, Listen to Pauline. The book is a system that I developed that will help you save time and stress and money and energy and give you a peace of mind. It is formatted. The first half of the book talks about the mindset that you have to have and how to get all your things ready and your equipment. And it doesn't just give you, it doesn't just tell you how to change your attitude. I'm sorry, it doesn't just tell you to change your attitude. It actually gives reasons and explanations and examples of how to do that. So, and then the second half of the book actually does get into the actual system of the cleaning. And yeah, I decided that this was time, when COVID hit. One of the things about the book that when I first looked into, because I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. When I first got the idea to write the book, I was a single mom. I was in school full time. I had no child support. So I was cleaning houses and I didn't have a lot of time. So I had to hurry up and get things done. And that's how the system got developed. And I just decided that I really wanted to share this with everybody back then. It wasn't easy to publish a book back in those days. So when COVID came and I met Hasmark and Peggy McCall and all those people, I decided this was time. And so wrote the book. And I'm just wondering how many people out there feel guilty when you're not cleaning. Well, the first half of the book's going to take that away from you tremendously, and so we're looking forward to getting feedback from people, and hopefully that'll happen soon and change a lot of lives.
So Nancy, what's been happening with you since we last saw you? What's been going on with you? I think you were traveling at one point when we were reaching out and everything like that. But I wanted to find out, because it's always fun to find out as a follow through what people are doing. What have you been doing since we actually last time talked?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Since we've talked, I have taken a course to build my own website. I've become Happy for No Reason, a certified trainer, and I'm almost certified to be a soul card oracle reader, soul coaching oracle reader, card reader.
Very cool.
And I'm writing a course, an online course. I'm in the midst of that too. So.
And again, thank you for being up so early. I wanted you to be on because I really adore what you do, and I like your book. So give them a plug to what your book is again for those people who may not heard of it, who want to go on and buy it. Go.
Okay. A Life of More is about a woman who finally wakes up and looks back on her life and tries to see what went wrong or what went right and why she didn't get what she really wanted. And it was because she was focusing on what she didn't want more than she was focusing on what she wanted. and that how her path came. And there's twists and turns, and yes, so it's a questioning story, but my prayer for everyone who reads it, that it will bring hope and healing, especially to, I was a single mother too, to women who can't quite get it right with those relationships or those jobs. So,
Yeah.
So, all right. So nonstop. I know you can't talk too much. You've been doing a bunch of things. Let's talk about how you feel today. How do you feel right now?
Well, I had.
And you look good. You look good, Terri.
Well, I broke my tooth, a molar. Let me see, 3 days ago, and I thought I was going to end up getting a crown. And I ended up losing the tooth, and now I have to get an implant. So I'm kind of in pain right now because I just had this back molar taken out yesterday. So it was not an experience. If anybody has broken a tooth and had to lose it,
Well,
so
you look good, Terri.
it's going to be
being in
interesting.
pain.
So I got to get a. Oh, well, thank you. Anyway, yeah, so I'm getting it. I have what stinks about this whole ordeal is when you break a tooth and they remove the tooth, you have to have a bone graft, and then you have to wait 3 months before you can get an implant. And then your insurance doesn't pay for your implant. So it's an unexpected cost that I was not looking forward to. So, you know, things happen that, implants are between $2,000 to $4,000 for one implant. So, yeah.
feel your pain.
All right, Donna.
What was that?
Donna, see what we have to go through.
Right.
All right, Donna. Let's talk about autism. Why that is important. It's very, very important. Go ahead.
Yes. Really what I'm trying to do is help bridge that connection and help parents focus, try not to spend so much time focusing on what their children cannot do and what, they think they should be doing, and to flip that switch and focus on what they can do. And I feel like the kids with autism are overlooked. Their hidden potential is overlooked because of our own ignorance, our own mental conditioning. Yeah. And they have greatness to influence our world. And there's this disconnect. And I'm hoping through this parents' guide, again, this is for the parents, to get rid of their paradigms, make a paradigm shift. So all the beliefs and thoughts and things like that they have going on, to start switching them. And we do that through like auto-suggestion and understand, because the mind, subconscious and conscious mind, very simply, the conscious mind, we can choose what thoughts enter our mind. We're just on autopilot all the time, that we'll just allow anything in, what we watch, what we see, what we hear, what we read. And every thought creates a feeling, and that feeling is our energy, is our vibration. And this is what our children are picking up on, especially children with autism, because they're more keen to the vibration, the energy that the parents are giving. And they're feeling often that they're not good enough, that they're disappointing. Mom and dad are sad that they're not playing football or whatever it is. So helping parents raise their vibration. It's an unconventional guide, and I'm using manifestation, visualization, which is just, it's right up their alley, everybody's alley, really. Mm-hmm. And this really actually is a book for everybody, every parent, every person. And Hasmark said I was limiting myself by keeping it to, but I said I was asked for this audience. So I took the book back and made it much more impactful and valuable by having contributors, doctors. Everything has been unfolding for me, doctors and therapists and moms, dads, teachers that work with children with autism who are now have contributed to this book. And it's beyond what I ever could have imagined, the knowledge in it and the group activity. And I never could have done this on my own. So I am so excited, and I'm so honored to be here with all of you and your authors and you, Tasha. Yeah. So thank you.
You know, the fun thing about this is that I threw Donna into the mix. This is kind of her first interview with all of us.
I know.
And I wanted her to be on. I wanted her to meet Pauline. I wanted her to meet Nancy. I wanted her to meet Tosh and Terri. And I thought that was important. So as you three authors, women who just did this, talk about, I see Tosh writing her book and what she's doing. I see where she is. And I see Terri writing her future book. Hers will definitely will be later. You three women, what advice would you give to my two co-hosts?
Who's going first? You said, what advice would you give? What was that? The rest of it?
To Tasha and Terri.
Oh, well, I think the first thing, obviously, which I see everybody already has, is you have to have a passion. Because without the passion, you're not going to do all the things you need to do to publish your book. The other thing that Donna mentioned, which I cannot even begin to describe, my experience with the gang over at Hasmark, they are phenomenal. So to say that, because remember I was saying, I started off by saying, I wrote the book over 30 years ago and it never got published. It wasn't for lack of trying. And when I heard that I had a resource through Peggy McCall, you know, that there's somebody out there that could help. And all I did was make one call, and 3 months later, my book is published. I mean, it's published, you know. So I think working with Hasmark is definitely one of the biggest things I would recommend. Absolutely.
I love them.
Okay, Nancy Lynn, your turn.
Yeah, no, I would have to piggyback on what Pauline said. You have the idea, you have the writings that you do, that you're passionate about, and you want to get a vehicle to get them out, get it out there. And Hasmark just kind of paved the way. They made it pretty easy, I would say. I don't know what you other ladies felt, but I felt that once I did the hard work of writing, that getting it published, I've kind of put my baby in their hands, and they took care of it and, you know, grew it, I guess, some way to say. But yeah, getting the right publisher is definitely one of the key things.
And Donna, what you've seen so far, talk about that for them.
But I just, it's like a family, and they just believe in me. And they said there really wasn't another book out there like this, and we're going to be marketing it in different countries. And I too am. I just got a book by Jeff Walker for launching, because the mechanisms are going to be the course. And I've already been asked to write this same book, but for cancer survivors, people who are undergoing treatment, because I run a Live Strong program for the cancer. I mean, for the Live Strong for the YMCAs, and we get grants, and it's a free program. And I can already see these mechanisms, like Hasmark said, are for everybody. But what I'm doing is able to draw the attention to certain audiences that need the help and will be more likely to read a self-help book geared towards them. So I feel like there's no box. It's limitless what we can do. And that's been part of these mechanisms of my healing, is really these mechanisms are my healing modalities that they're not new, but I've written them speaking from my heart and how I have evolved into this, let the awe in, and no judgment, no competition, and not taking things personal, taking my power back. And I want everybody to feel this way, grounded, and yeah.
So Pauline, when you don't feel like cleaning, what would you say to Terri when you have a toothache? If you had a tooth pulled, what would you say? How do you continue to clean?
Well, my doctor told me not to do anything. Just sleep.
Yeah, Terri, that's 100% what I would tell you. And I have to tell you, the irony in all of this is my dentist made an appointment for me to have a crown today. So I called and canceled. But Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. No, because I was going to tell Brian, actually, when they extract a tooth, it's actually surgery. So I have stitches in my mouth. I'm not supposed to be, I can't even go to the gym for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's surgery. I mean, they basically like are tearing a tooth out of your skull.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, like not to laugh at it, but it's not. It's probably. I mean, I'm very. What is the word? Like, I'm okay with procedures being done. Like, nothing really freaks me out. But that yesterday was like a horror movie being done on me. You know what I mean? Where you're just because they break the tooth and it's just bad. But yeah, Brian, you're not supposed to do anything but rest after you've had surgery. So,
well, then I did the stupid thing because I always ended up cleaning regardless when I didn't want to. When
well,
I was not feeling well.
Well, people don't. This is actually something that people need to know because anytime you have even a minor surgery like that, you can get a blood clot.
Yes.
There are like a lot of things that your mouth is attached to your whole body. Anything with your mouth, any kind of infection, you need to take care of it ASAP.
Yes.
It's not something to mess around with. So, I mean, just, that's just something that always if you've got something wrong with your mouth, take care of it. An infection can kill you. And then also, when you have any kind of surgery, any kind of major surgery, you need to rest and not, blood clots are not a fun thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pauline, we're going to flip over to Tosh then. So when Tosh is singing her songs, what do you suggest how you clean? Does she have to pretend she's Mary Poppins or what?
Oh, no, I would, no, she's in the perfect situation, right? Because she's always got music in her head. And part of the book, it says, when we talk about having a good attitude is one part I talk about is blast the music and sing loud and put your favorite songs on. And, I liken it to being in a traffic jam, right? I'm sure everybody's had that happen to them, right? Mm-hmm. And so instead of listening to news or talk radio, no offense, Brian, just jam. And so doing that. And then I say that if anybody complains, Tasha, if anybody complains that you're jamming them to the music and it's so loud, you tell them that the next time they clean the house, they can play their favorite music loud.
And it's true, honestly. When I clean, I have to have music because if I don't, it's just gonna make the process even worse for me. So I always have to have a little salsa, a little merengue there, so I could, dance with my broom and like kind of make everything a little bit faster. So I agree, and I've put some of my music on too because it's all very like moving, and I'm like, okay, I'm listening to myself cleaning here.
I have to admit
Nancy
something
Lynn,
about
you're that
cleaning.
singer. How do you clean?
Wait, Brian, did I interrupt somebody? It's really kind of
Nancy Lynn.
Oh,
you're a singer too. So how do you
have a cleaner? That's what I say. Pay a cleaner. That's my ideal situation.
Me too.
Yes, but music, definitely music.
Well, we didn't get a chance to ask you last time. What kind of songs do you sing?
I sing like from the 40s and the 50s and like folk songs. That's really which there's a small audience, I guess, for that, but I can entertain myself, can't I? So
that's all that matters.
Yeah. Right.
So, also, Pauline, we didn't get a chance to ask Roxy last time. Well, when she's busy engineering our show out of her home and she's got kids and obviously, I don't know, she's probably got 100 snakes with her.
I was going to say reptiles.
Yes, exactly. So Roxy didn't get a chance last week to respond to how she cleans the house. So Roxy, take it away.
So yeah, I'd clean with music, of course, loud music. I dance with it as well.
Nice.
So Pauline, what advice do you give to Roxy? I mean, first, I don't even know how she has time to do anything. What do you say to her?
So, she's got the right attitude, but the other thing I'd say is if you have no time to clean, listen to Pauline. Pick up the book. The system is something that is completely unique. When I wrote the book 30 years ago, I went to the old-fashioned brick and mortar stores and looked up if anything, like this existed. then when I was in the middle of publishing, I'm thinking, geez, I should, Google it and see if anything like that 30 years later, still no system for cleaning. So, and no one teaches us how to do this, and I couldn't help but think about last week when someone had mentioned that. They said, well, I don't have, oh, it's Terri. She said, I don't have time to read your book. And I started thinking about it after, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. If she reads the book, she'll have all kinds of time to do all kinds of other things. So yeah, that's my advice to Roxy. Pick up the book. No Time to Clean. Listen to Pauline.
I love that.
You'll have all kinds of time on your hands after that.
Another thing I do is I delegate chores to my kids, and
yes.
I know I can't start cleaning until their chores are done, or else it's going to turn into a battle. So I just let them do their thing, and then I come in when my time is necessary.
Absolutely. And we talk about that, in the book, about the idea that there's cleaning, there's organizing, there's, doing laundry, there's doing dishes, there's all different types of chores. And which is one of the reasons why it takes some people so many hours to clean their house. And then they say, and I'm like, well, you weren't cleaning, you were organizing and putting things away and doing dishes and doing laundry and making the beds. And so cleaning is cleaning. So you stick to one thing. And so having the kids organize the night before or a couple hours before and put everything away, that is perfect part of the system.
It helps me clean. You guys are going to laugh.
All right. So, Terri, you're going to say something?
I said, this is kind of silly, but sometimes wine helps cleaning be easier.
That's not silly. But it's not silly.
No, because there's times I would, wine always makes it more fun. So.
Terri, I'm going to put that in my book.
Have a glass of wine.
I left that out.
And put your music on. Yeah, it makes it go a lot quicker.
So Donna, we've been having problems with kids going back to school and everything like that. So for the parents, what do you say regarding kids who have autism, but in general, what's your advice now?
Lots of positivity and encouraging, and meditation practices. And meditation doesn't have to be sitting in front of a candle real still. It can be so many different ways to meditate and ways just to connect and intertwine the internal with the external. And I did do this new moon ritual with one of the children that has autism, and it was really cool. I'm not sure if anybody does any of the full moon and new moon rituals, but like I said, this book is unconventional, and people who are ready for a shift are the people who are going to be looking to this. And he did do it. He did it surprisingly, and he wrote down the things that were bothering him, and he understood that it was symbolic, that they, shared it, wrote it down, shared it out in the universe, looking up at the sky. And then they had a fire in a fire pit, and then they're throwing them, watching it burn and disintegrate. And he said he felt better after that. And he said he'd be open to doing it again. So a lot of these little tools and having meditation cards, just leaving them out in front. And I would just want to, sometimes I get so excited, but the last comment that I made when I said no judgment, what it is it's that I have the awareness now. It's not that I don't judge, because we're all human, but it's, I'm able to recognize when I'm judging somebody else, or I'm able to recognize negative thoughts and be able to stop them. And when parents do this, and words have impact, the way they're wording things, every thought, everything we speak creates a feeling. That feeling creates our behavior, and that's the result of what we're getting. So as the parents evolve and shift their paradigm, it's just going to ripple out into the home and the environment that the kids are growing up, so that they are going to have more freedom to be who they are and be their authentic selves. That as the parent becomes more authentic with themselves. So that's what I would, implement, like positivity, affirmations, things like that. And they're even just starting to do that kind of work in the schools. So it's happening, and It's science and it shows results. Anything that we put into the subconscious mind has to accept. Yep. So what we feed ourselves is what we're getting. So, yeah.
I totally agree with you, Donna, because I have dealt a lot with manifestation. I started during the pandemic. I read the Magic book, and it taught me a lot about, manifesting and being positive. And if you are thinking negatively at the moment, like try to switch it and make it into a positive thing. And it has helped me a lot, like with my career, with myself, with just the way that I see things now. It's like, there's not a lot of time in the world to be focusing on negative things. You always want to be focusing on positive things to bring all of that positivity to you. So I totally agree with manifesting. Just wanted to say yes. If you haven't manifested, everyone who is listening, you have to manifest whatever you want to do, because it will happen. It will happen. You just put it out into the universe, and it will.
Yep.
I think universe.
Nancy Lynn, as that dream leader, as that coach, you did the same thing about manifesting your book, but also other things. And then also talk about you this past summer, you were taking a trip. What's to Scotland or to Ireland? What did you talk about that?
Yeah,
also?
Scotland. Yes. Well, I just want to say one quick thing about the manifesting, and I think Donna briefly said it, because in my own life, I didn't realize how I was focusing on what I didn't want, and I kept getting it, and I didn't realize that until later. I realized that because that is what I was thinking about. Everything I didn't want. I couldn't focus on what I wanted. And so I ended up getting these things, these situations, and I just couldn't figure out how. But yes, manifesting, but your thoughts must be what you want, as Tasha said. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want, because where your energy, the energy that you focus on is what you're going to manifest, whether it's good or bad. So being very specific about that. But yes, I had a trip this summer. I didn't get to travel last summer, but I ended up going to Athens, and then I have a daughter in Edinburgh. So I ended up going to Edinburgh, and then my friend, she's from Northern Ireland. She and I took a drive to the Isle of Skye. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with anything north of Edinburgh, but the roads are very curvy, and there's usually just two-way traffic. There's one lane going one way going the other, and it's so maybe going 100 miles will take you, I don't know, 4 hours, just because, anyway, it was very interesting and beautiful. Have to say that.
And then Tosh, you went away this weekend too. I saw you on a boat someplace. What the hell were you doing?
This weekend, I think. Oh, it was like 2 weekends ago. I went on a boat. Had to celebrate. There was no reason to celebrate. We just it was a nice day outside, and my friend had a boat, and he was like, "Hey, let's go out and just be in the water," and it was nice. Sometimes you need to have those little those last minute getaway random things are always the best thing that could happen to you, because you're not expecting to I'm going to do this and this and this, and everything is structured. But when things happen out of nowhere, you just appreciate it more. So it was nice. It was nice.
And Pauline hasn't gone anyplace. She hasn't had time because she's been cleaning. I'm Pauline.
I've spent, oh my gosh, the last several years doing nothing but traveling. So when the pandemic came, I just decided, okay, deal with what we got, right? So I just completely revamped my environmental company, and then started getting into all the stuff. Well, I've been studying all that stuff for many years, but heavy duty with Bob Proctor. So I joined his program. That's how I met Peggy. And then that's how I met Hasmark. And that's how I met Brian. So getting in the right circles, but trying to figure out how to help people. I think that one of the reasons why I wrote the book was to do that, to help, people that have busy lives, and to teach them how to do something that no one has ever taught us to do. So when you're reading No Time to Clean, listen to Pauline. You're going to learn that something that that you've never been taught before. And it's, once you read it, you'll be like, oh my God, like, how could I not know this? How could my mom not have told me this? You know what I mean? Because it just all makes sense, but, and then my dad, who, always say any job is easy when you have the right tools, right? So we talk about that also, how to get your tools right and so forth. And so, but I just took advantage of being home. And so, yeah, I've had one little side trip last Christmas. And other than that, I've been parked. So it's unusual for me, but I will tell you, it's gone by really fast because I've just kept super busy.
All right, Terri, I'm going to with your Alaska trip. I don't care if you can talk or not. I know this will make you happy. Go.
What?
Your Alaska trip.
What do you want to know about my Alaska trip?
Tell Nancy about that. Donna doesn't know how you went to Alaska.
Oh, well, I had the chance to go. My birthday was the end of July, and I went to Alaska with one of my girlfriends, and it was really good because we went out and we were able to see the bears catching salmon. And that was one of the most amazing things I've ever done. We took a small charter plane out to the island, saw that. We went kayaking in the ocean and by a glacier. And I have to tell you one thing, it got me closer to God. And
I believe
it. I've become a lot closer. I've asked help. I don't know, this is just me, but I would do better when I go to my higher power and it's not about me. And that's my belief. So I think that helped me connect to God when I was there, if that makes any sense. So
yes, totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always think that, no matter what I think it's important to have faith in outside of yourself. And I think that makes you a stronger person. Maybe not for everybody, whether you be a Christian, a Jew, Muslim, whatever. I think that higher power is always a good thing to have, and it brings you strength. Because I believe we're all connected, if that makes any sense. So going to nature and being in that, that in God's beauty, I felt like it was a lot of healing that I needed after this whole COVID stuff, if that makes any sense. Yes. And I didn't really think about it until I got back. You know what I mean? That it was just something that my soul needed, to be with nature. So if you have an opportunity to do a trip like that, I highly recommend it, if that makes any sense.
100%.
And Tosh, we didn't get a chance to talk about you going to Nashville and your trip with your mom. Talk about that. See the smile on her face.
Oh my God. I shared this story because I'm a bartender, and I had these two ladies that sat down at the bar, and they were having a girls trip. And I was like, oh my God, I have to tell you about mine, because it was just so amazing. It was, my mom was having like a really stressful time. And I was like, you know what, Mom, let's take a weekend trip, just you and I, and let's just, forget about our troubles right now and just enjoy life, So it was great. We went to the Smoky Mountains. We went hiking. We did the Cades Cove Loop, and we saw so many wild animals in their natural habitat. And it was just so, it was so beautiful. I love nature. I think I have to move to a place that has mountains and wildlife, because you don't see any of that in Miami. Miami is not for that.
It's called the Dreamweaver Artist Ranch.
yeah. And it was awesome. I saw a black bear, a mommy and a cub, just roaming around, and it was such a magical time. I definitely, if you haven't taken, for anybody listening and all you ladies too, it's always nice to do some trips with with mom, with family, because you never know when you're not going to be able to do that anymore. And it's nice to be able to take some time and really just explore beautiful places with your with your significant loves, family members. It was great. Honestly, I could talk about it all day because we did so much in 3 days. I came back and I slept for 2 days because I was I was so tired from that vacation, but it was beautiful. It was definitely beautiful.
Well, can I put my 2 cents in there for
So
Tosh?
Donna, being from Boston, where did you go besides Connecticut, maybe?
Well, I took a trip to Sedona, and it was a game changer for me. Terri, it was beautiful what you shared, and And I totally agree. I'm there with you. And nature has the highest vibration. And anytime you just go outside, anywhere, wherever you are, look up at the sky, look at the mountains, wherever you are. Sedona was Cathedral Rock was my first time there, and they talk about the vortex, and I don't really know. I have put a lot of things in my vortex lately, and I just had this most incredible. It was an emotional release.
I bet.
And it was just, I don't know where it came from, but it just poured out of me. And it was pretty amazing. The whole trip was amazing. Taking Jeeps on the Red Rocks and all the hiking, and we did tree hugging and all that stuff. I went. It was a yoga retreat. It was a little definitely out of my comfort zone, but I was secretly hoping nobody was watching us at first. But then you kind of let that go. You stop worrying about what other people are thinking. You kind of get in the moment. It was really a silent hike we had. It was great. Yeah, I definitely going back.
So Roxy, for someone who doesn't really travel, who's got a bunch of kids and doesn't have time to clean, talk about you taking all your reptiles on a convention, going to where you go to. That's the only trip you get a chance to take, right?
Yeah, every weekend I'm in a new place doing reptile expos. I've been to Florida. This weekend we're going to Pennsylvania. Last weekend I was in Indiana. So I'm all over the place.
So you are traveling then, right?
Yeah,
not traveling.
I don't get to experience the environments at all. It's, I set up and I'm there all day, and then I'm exhausted, go back to the hotel, sleep, or drive back home. So I don't get to experience anything, but through the car window.
And I hear her crickets in the back.
Yeah,
Still here.
Hungry.
Yes. Yeah. I had crickets get loose from one of the lizards that eats crickets, the bearded dragons.
That's awesome.
I just imagine.
It is funny. How many reptiles do you have now?
Well, it's my business, so I have hundreds and hundreds of snakes and reptiles, and I breed reptiles, I breed snakes, I breed foxes, chinchillas, and hedgehogs. I have quite the assortment. And tarantulas.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And she's our engineer, and I'm proud to have her.
You should be.
All right. We got a couple minutes left to talk about this. So, Nancy, what do you want to happen between now and the end of the year, and how do you inspire people around the world?
Sorry, it's a little bit soft. Can you just say that again?
I said we got a couple minutes left. What do you want to happen between now and the end of the year, and how do you inspire people?
Oh, I want something so fantastic to happen to me that I can't believe in my wildest dreams that it's happened. I can't put a name on it, but I have this feeling brewing inside me that something so fantastic. And my catchphrase is only goodness lies ahead, right? There's only goodness. That's thank you, Louise Hay, right? Only goodness lies ahead. So keep focusing on what you want. Yes? Want, not what you don't want, right? What you want, what you desire. And may all your dreams come true in your wildest imagination.
And your social media links.
NancyLynnOfficial.com is my website. And Nancy Lynn Official is my Facebook page. That's it.
Donna, you're next. What do you want to happen between now and the end of the year, and how do you inspire people?
Well, I want to be a New York Times bestselling author and launch a online course for people to grow and become aware, and my log cabin on the waterfront for seasonal retreats. And I always, it's a quote by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and it's only the heart knows how to find what is precious. And I'm a big yes to heart connections. And to me, that means people helping people. And and I'm looking for connection, vibrational connection, oneness. We all want the same thing, harmony and balance in our lives. And it starts with behavior change and mindset. So I'm hoping that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing that knowledge, and I'm healing myself as I'm healing others.
Yeah,
I love that.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, Terri, nonstop.
So what do I want to do?
How do you inspire people around the world as you being that public figure now? What do you say to them?
Never give up, no matter how, if things aren't going right, just pick yourself up and keep trying. I mean, that's what I do every day when things don't go right, and things are going to come unexpected. And you know what, you can't let things, push you back. You know what I mean? Especially like, I'll give you an example. When I broke my tooth, it put me behind, but you know what? I just have to bite the bullet and then just take care of my health, and then get up tomorrow and go back to the gym and go back to, back to my goals, because you're going to have setbacks along the way. If that makes any sense, even if, it's a health setback or a money setback, it happens, and just stay positive.
Pauline?
Which part you want me to answer first? As far as the goal between now and the end of the year, I'd like to take a big chunk out of my big goal of selling 1 million books. I think that now is a really good time for that to happen. The American Cleaning Institute says that there's, I think, 34% of people are concerned that they don't clean enough. This was before COVID. And 31% of people are concerned that they're not cleaning correctly. So I think since COVID came, this was a really, really good time for this book to come out and talk about the system and how to take back your time, right? And, all this talk today about positive energy, and having time to do what you want, reclaim your weekends in your life, and be able to spend time with family. That's another thing that we talked a lot about too. And so, and you can find me at PaulineIreneStacey.com. And I would really love it if, for people that have any kind of cleaning story, any kind of, even if it's a bad one that turned out good, to go to my website and share their personal story. I'd like to add those kinds of stories to my blog.
Tosh, you get the last word for the night. Go ahead.
Ooh, okay. So my goal for the end of the year is that, my song is releasing on Friday, so I wanted to get at least to 10,000 streams before the end of the year on Spotify or any streaming platform. And I wanted to keep people inspired is, just don't let other people make decisions for you about your career or about things that you want to do. You just gotta, trust your gut and, go for it. No matter what, everything, it starts with you and ends with you. So you just keep on hustling, keep on grinding, and anything you put your mind to will happen. So always keep that positive energy, positive vibes, and you'll see that things will start coming true. And follow me on NatashaRumbosMusic.com or Vocally Tosh anywhere, and stream my song.
I will.
And Roxy, you don't get out of this. This is your turn. What do you want, Roxy?
What do I want? I want connections with everybody to be able to communicate with people without bickering and fighting. And I want love in the world. I don't want any crazy arguing, fighting. And I just want happiness for everyone.
And you talk about your show on Mondays, your show.
Yeah, so I do a show Monday nights on W4CY and Talk 4 TV called RA Nation, where we get musicians and people in the music industry together to talk about how to move forward with the changes that's happened recently due to the situations, and try to get everybody on the same page so we can all move forward together.
And with that, I want to thank everybody for coming on. And I always say this now. I'm going to add this to this. Have a better night tonight and a better day tomorrow. And I always say this, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.